Everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Barbara Suits. I am the Open Educational Resources and Instructional Materials Program Manager here at OSPI. And thank you for joining us today on this quick tour of some new resources that are available on our Washington OER Hub. If you'd like to follow along with us today, you can log on to our OER Commons Hub at www.oercommons/hubs/Washington to see some of the resources that we'll be talking about today. I am joined today by our wonderful math team. I've got first up Arlene Crum, who is our Mathematics Director. She'll be kicking us off. So Arlene, I am going to pass it over to you.
Thanks, Barbara. Happy to be here today to show you a few of the resources that we have been developing and making available through OER Commons. So hopefully you're seeing my screen now where you can see our Washington Hub. And then if you go down here and you click where it says groups, it takes you to all of the different medallions for the different groups. And so Washington is up here in the upper right-hand corner. So if we click on that, it takes you to all of the different resources that we have available. And the first that we'd like to share with you today is for our youngest learners in pre-K through grade 2, a locally developed resource called Math Anywhere. And I'm happy to have with us today Molly Daly from ESD 112. She is one of the developers of this resource. So Molly, how about you tell us about that?
All right. Yes, I'm going to share about Math Anywhere, which I am in Vancouver, Washington, if you're wondering where ESD 112 is. And this is a community-based project that we have down here where we try to bring playful mathematics to community events and places where families go. And right now, families are staying at home. So we have worked out on our website lots of resources to share with families at home. So if you go to mathanywhere.org, you can visit our how-to tab, which has just short videos for families that kind of teach how to engage in a playful math conversation. We also have our printables tab, which most everything on here is optimized for home printing. And of course, you don't have to print it. You can still just get the idea for the game. But one of the things we have here is the number game, which comes in a kind of basic version. It's pretty fun once you start going, but we also have a creative version as well. And then we have some printable sheets down below where you can, again, you don't have to print it, but it might give you ideas for how to host these math conversations at home. And all of our resources are licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license, so they can all be used. I'll scroll down to our licensing for non-commercial use at home or anywhere. And I'm going to turn it back to Arlene.
Thanks, Molly. All right, so going back to our hub page and shifting gears a little bit, let's go from our youngest learners to our high school learners. We have a couple of different resources to mention here. The first, our high school mathematics curriculum are here in this folder. And there
Arlene,
are
I'm sorry, Arlene, we're not seeing your screen. If you want to share that with us.
Okay,
yep.
Let's try again.
It's a lovely flower, though.
Let's try this one and see if you see the right thing. There we go. Okay, so our high school mathematics curriculum, there are currently two things that are in there. One are the openly licensed resources for our Bridge to College transition course. The openly licensed part of it's there. And then also we're in the process of adapting Modeling Our World with Mathematics to also make it available on OER Commons. There's a small piece of it there. The rest of it we're still working on. And then additional resources that we're adapting for OER Commons we're calling practice tasks. These come from the COE tasks that were used for students in support of the Smarter Balanced Assessment. Because we don't have them as an alternative to the assessment anymore, but we've done a lot of work with them, our assessment division has, and they're great resources for instruction. We wanted to make them available as widely as possible. So they come in several different domains. If we take a look at exponential, if we pull that up, you'll see that there are 7 different tasks that you can use there. And so if we just, let's take a look at our celebrity proposal. And then so click on the resource and it comes right up for you in this format. But if you scroll down a little further to where you can download it, you'll see that it can also become a Word document that you can edit. So you can change this any way that you like to, so to support your students, to make it a meaningful instructional or a formative assessment task for you. And then, so the entire task is there. And then also all included are the rubrics from when it was used as a COE task, so that you can see what a quality answer looks like. And when some of these are a little bit longer tasks, there may be multiple parts that you can see the developing answers that students could come up with. So then going back, we can also see that we also have linear-based tasks and quadratic tasks in there. We are still working on the other functions and the statistics, but all of those resources will continue to come in. So if you're looking for one that's not there yet, I encourage you to come back soon and see what else is there. And then another folder that we have is identified as standards and rubrics. You can see here's a link to the Common Core State Standards, so it's an easy way to get to those standards for you. And we have some other tools to use around standards and rubrics. And then we also have some resources that we've been developing in our office. And I'd invite Jennifer Cronquist, our math specialist, to talk about those.
All right, thank you, Arlene. So within that standards and rubrics folder, if you scroll down, you will see the 5 different progression documents that we have spent the last year creating and been putting out in our newsletter. So we have fractions, geometry, data and statistics, number sense, and measurement out right now. So if I click on the first one, fraction progression, this is what's going to pop up as your view. And if you scroll down, you can download or view the PDF. And when you download it, it's a 2-page document here. So we've taken the strand of fractions and pulled out some of the important standards that go along with the fractions progression. So we've identified some kind of benchmark type skills that students should be learning around fractions at each of the grade levels. And then the nice thing about this document is that we've also pulled out some skills that students should be able to do in some other content areas. So we're really hoping that this document will be useful for teams when they are doing some vertical alignment between their grade levels, and then also trying to do some cross-curricular planning. Either with the different units they have going on in elementary, or once you get to middle and high school, working on some cross-curricular projects. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand things back over to Barbara.
Thank you guys so much for sharing the great resources. So I am going to head back to our Washington OER Commons Hub one more time and respond to a question actually that we had come in. The question was in regards to what are some resources that parents can take advantage of in order to help their students, not just with math, but with any other content areas as well. I wanted to bring this section of our OER Hub up. This is the Continuous Learning Suggestions section. And here we have a collection, multiple collections actually, of different areas that you might be interested in. Specifically with regard to this question, resources for parents, we have a collection of items that are geared towards helping parents and families and caregivers support their students in learning. So feel free to take a look at what we have up there. You'll notice the Math Anywhere resource that Molly mentioned earlier is listed, as well as a lot of other great content. Be sure to come back to this section. We are updating this continuously, and so you'll find new resources that are posted here in the days and weeks to come. If you do have a question that is specific to our Washington OER Hub, please feel free to email oer@k12.wa.us. and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have on an upcoming live event or just via offline email as well. Couple more things before we leave for the day. You'll notice that in the YouTube description below, you're going to find links to all the resources that were called out today. We also have a link to an upcoming opportunity for an OER development grant. If you're interested in that and you are a Washington school district or organization, you can click on that link to get more information about the opportunity. It does close on the 28th of this month, so we've got a little bit more time left if you have an interest. I think that about wraps it up for me today. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. Thank you to Arlene, to Jennifer, and to Molly for showing us some fantastic math resources. And I hope everyone stays well, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.